remember now those childhood days gone by. You woke up with the morning sun. It was warm and live and fun. I'm a roll, don't turn around, I'm a roll.
Hello friends, fans and enemies, welcome to another Zane-Destiny video. This will be another progression series, the purple progression, on today's tournament at Geek Retreat. So this wasn't a pre-release event, this was an actual event, and BT6 was legal. And I had a pretty good time. Didn't win a single match, but I had a pretty good time. I like my deck. It can be improved, it needs improving, and I've already sussed what I need to improve, but I did have a lot of fun. So let's get straight into this deck profile, shall we? So for the Digitamer, I stuck with the usual just the 4 Demi-Meramon. So as you'll get to see later, I didn't run as many level 3s as with previous editions. So I needed a different way to get cards in my hand and in my trash, and Demi-Meramon was my ticket in doing that. Didn't see to, well, probably resolved it quite regularly compared to everything else. I was originally planning to add the new Sunamon, but I saw against it as I didn't really have enough effects to, well, trigger it. But then halfway through the tournament, someone reminded me, oh, one of your cards has discarding effects. So you could have had that more draw power. And then I was like, oh yeah, never realized. And I'll get to that a bit later as I get to the level 5s. So yes, the 4 Demi-Mera, he was standard, but I think I will change him up just to the more recent Sunamon. Put him to the side. Next, we get to the rookies, and you're going to be surprised by my rookie count. So, I played 3 Labramon. So, Labramon's effect is when you hard play him, you draw 1, trash 1. Okay, so, and then I played 2 of the BT2 Impmon. His effect is on deletion, trash the top 3 of your cards in the deck. And then I ran the new BT6 Impmon. So this one's got a really nice effect that on play you may trash 1 card in your hand, and if you do, return 1 Digimon card with 7 Great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers in its type from your trash to your hand. So good recursion. And the last level 3 was 1 Gundramon to stop some memory gaining. So very small, very, very small level 3 count, which is a reason why I ran the Demi-Meramon as well as Labramon that gets me on play effect to draw cards. So I realized early on drawing cards was an issue. I did play an additional Tamer to help with that. Probably guess what that already was. But judging from this, you've probably got a rough idea what kind of deck I was playing, especially with this Impmon here. And this Impmon was helpful as well. So the idea was to get as many things in my hand and in my graveyard as quick as possible, which I was very able to do a little too successfully. So that's my level 3 count. I will probably decide to add, well, up the number at least just to get more consistency. Might even try Soundbirdmon, who knows, if there's space. So going straight to level 3, start off with the blockers. I played 2 Vilemon and 3 of the blocker Devamon. I can't really say much about this. I was able to get these back on the field quite regularly. Unfortunately, I was stuck in situations where I could Digivolve, but I ran the risk of making myself vulnerable if I didn't have any blockers. So I'm not too sure what to do. One idea, once I go through the ideas for the deck later on, I will probably change up these cards completely or adding something else to compensate. And we're not done with level 4s. I ran 2 of the promo Wizardmon. Very happy I got 4 of these guys. But what this one is, it has an inherited effect that when you use an option card, you gain 1 memory. Very good if I had the right stack. But unfortunately, with this particular deck I'm trying to aim for, don't think he's quite ideal. So unfortunately, my boy Wizardmon's probably going to have to get moved out. And what can I say? I don't want to say he's the card holding the deck together. He was my go-to, but also my detriment. I ran 3 Deputymon. So you definitely got to know what sort of deck I'm running now. So Deputymon's effect that when he's hard play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add 1 Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type and or 1 option card for memory cost of 7 among them to your hand and trash the remaining cards. So he allowed me to fill up my graveyard, get some cards in my hand. If you've come across a 7 cost option card and 3 Musketeers, you can add them both to your hand. So very good in that sort of respects. And on your turn, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type from your hand for a memory cost of 6, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. That effect is phenomenal, amazing. But I haven't got the consistency to make it work properly. And opponents knew this, and they were quick to get rid of this guy when I needed him the most. But also the detriment of him as well. I'll talk about. His revealing top 4 cards is mandatory, and unfortunately, I surprisingly ate through my deck quite quickly, quite consistently, which I will explain as I get to the level 5s. But that was our level 4 count. Quite a decent number, but unfortunately, there's going to have to be a few changes. So, level 5s. This is the other card that was causing me problems. I ran 3 Lady Devamon. So, Lady Devamon's got a really nice effect. I've always used her in all my purple decks. The way you Digivolve, you draw 2, trash 2. An inherent effect that every time you use an option card, which you're going to in this deck, you can delete level 3. Now, the inherent effect didn't really pop off so much because there wasn't many level 3s on the board. But also, her effect is mandatory. And unfortunately, the combination of Deputymon and Digivolving into Lady Devamon, I ate through my deck quite quickly. If I get him off, that's 4 cards. If I get her off, that's 6 cards. So if I'm doing that quite consistently, I could potentially deck myself out before I even realize it, which I did deck myself out one game, and I came close to it against the yellow. I had 1 card left. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to cut her out because, just like with the yellow, I have to run at least 1 Angemon on one. I'm going to keep Lady Devamon in the deck. I'll just cut her down because she can be helpful. And again, if she's in the right stack, she can be devastating. So the next level 5, a random 1 Chimeramon. I had opportunities to pull this guy off, but I don't know if it would have changed any game saves. So I may, since I've decided to make some cuts, I might cut him out completely and swap him in with my Skull Greymon, especially if I go to the Cinnamon route, which would make it a lot more helpful. The card that I wanted more of was Rebellamon, so he came in BT6. I was nicely given a spare one by someone today, so I thank them very much for that, and it's going to be used in my deck from now on because he's actually pretty good for stalling. So he has a Digivolve effect. He may Digivolve from black and purple as well, which is even nice. So you may trash 1 card in your hand to gain blocker and retaliation until the opponent's next turn. So not only would he trigger say for example, the Skull Greymon and the Sunamon inherited effect, but he also becomes a devastating retaliator because he becomes a blocker on your opponent's turn. You block with that, the opponent's Digimon still dies because it's got retaliation, so it gets both of those effects, which is really nice. And not only that, it's got all turns. This Digimon is also treated as black, so it can use black option cards or Digivolve into black Digimon. And I'm just going to change, well, mind you, I think I'm going to keep the lighting as it is. It's got that ominous look. And the next Digimon, I teched in one Mega Dramon. I would have liked to do more and more Giga Dramon, but I had no space left. And this particular Mega Dramon has, on your turn, this Digimon is also treated as black. So it can digivolve into black and red, and from black and red. And an inherent effect that on your turn, the Digimon gets plus 2000. You're going to see the level 6s as to why I played one of this one. But I will change it to reduce the number of Lady Devas, increase the number of Rebellas, cut out Chimeras, and up the number of Megas, or Dramons, I should say, because Giga Dramon's got a name as well. So that's our level 5 counts. Let's go on to the level 6s. So, you know what? I'm going to start with the other cards first. So, obviously, you probably guessed by now, I was playing a type of Three Musketeers deck. So, unfortunately, I only pulled one Gigadramon and one Beelzebub. I mean, I'm happy I got Beelzebub, but I do need more. I am disappointed in my booster box because I've seen people get enough of this guy to have a decent amount, but I've only got the one. Magna Kids, I mean, he's there in case I wanted to digivolve from Megadramon, and he has a decent effect of using option cards, which I will quickly read all three of them. So, Magna Kidmon, he has security +1 attack inherently, but I didn't really get to use his card for attacking, unfortunately. And you may use one option card with a memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost. But if you don't, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. I didn't get to use them at all, but I blamed the fact that I wasn't able to consistently get the Three Musketeers out because I didn't have enough of the required cards, unfortunately. Getting to the, I want to call him the good boy, but it was also a shame I didn't have more. So, Gundramon, he inherently has blocker, but you can still attack with him without losing 2 memory, which is good. And when digivolving, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may use one option card with memory cost of 7 among them without paying its memory cost, and trash the remaining cards. If you don't use an option card with this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a cost of 4 or less. Okay. I didn't pay attention to that second part of the effect because I had a couple of opportunities where I could have deleted a level 4. Darn it, this is why you need to read your cards, folks. But he did do me a favour in one of the games against Yellow, where I think my opponent must have had at least 5 bodies on the board. 3 of them were rookies, and I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. I digivolved into him, and I managed to use his respective option card to delete 3 of the opponent's Digimon. Yes, I still lost the game, but it was such a nice feeling to be able to pull that off. So I do need more of you, Gundramon. So hopefully my next booster box, I can get more of you, son. Magna Kidmon, I'll probably end up cutting you, mate, because I don't know if you're going to help with consistency. Security attack +1 is nice, though. I don't know. And the star of the show, and she's got a star in her name, Beelzebub. Oh my gosh, this girl, she puts in the work. So, when playing this card from your hand, you reduce its play cost by 1 for each Three Musketeers Digimon card and option card with memory cost of 7 from your trash. I believe I played a total of about 7 of those criterions, so she would be reduced to about 5. So I still quite a lot. It would be better to run more of the Musketeer cards, which I need more Gundramon or even more Beelzebub to make the most of that effect. And her on-play effect is return one option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash to your hand. Then use one option card with a memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost. So it doesn't have to be the same option card you picked up. It can be another one. But her and her respective option card or any of the Musketeer cards, it's very nice to have, very nice to use. Unfortunately, she doesn't have an effect that if you're not able to do that, you can do this instead like these two do. And I will need to pay attention when I play these two because they've got decent, like, alternative effects if you're not able to fulfill their conditions. So yeah, I would like to have more Beelzebub and more Gundramon just to fill up the deck. And because I could, I ran the one Beelzebub. I've had this guy for ages, since the beginning, since the very first booster pack I opened up with my first starter deck. And it's finally been nice to actually put him in the deck. He's not making it top tier, but it's nice to actually play him. So he has an effect is, when you have 10 or more cards in your trash, which I was easily able to do, your Impmon can digivolve into this card in your hand for a memory cost of 4, ignoring its digivolution requirements. So my level 3 can go to a Mega straight away. It's not game breaking, but when you do digivolve, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. It's nice to have him. Plus, he's also 7 Great Demon Lords. So with the Impmon that can search 7 Great Demon Lords, it's useful. So I like him just to have him there. It's nice. Plus he goes well with Beelzebub. And because I didn't have because I didn't have enough of the cards I needed for the Musketeers, I splashed in the Lilithmon loop into it. Managed to get it off fairly consistently, but I was only able to do the Mega Digivolution version once, and it did do work. But yeah, Lilithmon was just splashed in, but unfortunately wasn't able to consistently get most of the effects off. Although against I believe it was a Jesmon player, I did manage to get a really nice play of having a Lady Deva, a Wizardmon, and I believe that was it. Yes. Yeah, because I hard played the Wizardmon. So I had a Wizardmon, a Lady Devamon, a Lilithmon. So I played enough Jack raids to keep me going. But not only that, I also played 2 Omnimon Swords. Of course you do. So I was able to get so much memory off of Lilithmon's effect, where you get extra memory for playing an option card, and if you got enough stuff in your trash, you're going to get more memory. But also Wizardmon is every time you use an option card, you gain a memory. Plus Lady Devamon's an inherent effect. When you use an option card, delete level 3. So I was able to pull that off and have enough memory to use the normal cost of 6 for Omnimon's Vault and pull off the whole loop that way. Yes, you want to use Mega Digimon Fusion to make it cheap, but hey, that was just as well. Unfortunately, after decisions, I do need, if I want to make a consistent Musketeer deck, I need more Musketeer cards. Omnimon, Lilithmon, I'm going to cut from this deck, as well as the cards associated with them, to try and make it a more consistent Musketeer deck. But first, I'll need to get more. But these were just splashed in here because I needed to appear threatening. Okay, so I love that Beelzebub. That artwork's so cool. In saying that, I prefer this artwork of Beelzebub. I'm not a fan of the old art because the other old art just looks a bit bland. This one's more dynamic. Okay, let's move on to the options. I'm going to try and blast through these because if I'm running a Lilithmon loop, I'm of course running Jack's raids. I did 3 and they were all used, all useful. And the amount of stuff I had in trash, I had memories for days. And I played one of the glaive memory boosts. So this one's got this has got a delay function. So main, you can return a purple Digimon card from your trashy hand. That was useful for recursion if I didn't have an Impmon for the Great Demon Lords or Musketeer. And it's got a delay that you can trash it to gain 2 memory. Nice. I would like to get the new memory boosters from the new structure decks because they can actually search for cards as well. And what I'll then do, so to get a Beelzebumon's effect off consistently, you need more Musketeer cards or play cost of 7 option cards. So played 1 Nailbone, got that off pretty consistently. 1 Trump Sword, first time ever I've been getting this guy consistently, just deleting level 6s or just Digimon in general. Fly Bullet. Oh my gosh, Fly Bullet is so good, especially paired with Beelzebub. So if you have a free Musketeer card, you can use it regardless of its color, which did surprise a couple of people, but that's okay. Main effect: delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon, and you can activate its main effect when it's security. That's good. That's very, very good. You know what else is good? Gewaltschwammer. So same thing again. If you've got 3 Musketeers, use it regardless of color. And main: delete all Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. Security, add it to hand. So that effect will destroy my own Digimon as well. Very scary card, and that was the card that I drew into against the yellow deck. It was the last card flipped over, and I just straight away went, okay, done. The other level 7, I played only one of the Happy Bullet Showering. So again, regardless of color, if you've got 3 Musketeers, play it. Delete all your opponent's Digimon for the lowest DP, and you activate its main effect and security. This is tricky. I mean, if your opponent's only got one powerful Digimon, which my opponent did have Volderarm, technically it's your only one, so that's technically the lowest DP, so you could have deleted it. But as soon as they get another one as cheap body on board, you got a new lower DP. I don't know. I'm not going to run more than one of this. It's very situational, but it's good to have, definitely. And the last option card I was obviously running the Mega Digivolve Fusion. Managed to get the proper loop off done once, but now that I'm considering cutting the Omnimon package or the Lilith Loop package, I'm definitely going to remove this to have something a bit more consistent, maybe more level 3s or something to do with memory boosting. And next we get to the Tamers. So I played 2 Matt. I do need to run more, definitely. And then the new Sora and Mimi. So this is a pretty decent underrated card. So start your turn. If your opponent doesn't have a level 4 or low Digimon, gain 2 memory. So it made your opponent force themselves to get more bodies in the field. Potentially hard playing or playing Digimon early from the raising area, so I didn't get the extra 2 memory. And start a turn, when one of your purple Digimon attacks, you may suspend this card to draw 1. I didn't use that second effect so much because I wasn't exactly paying attention, but it's an underrated card. Definitely either might play 2 or whatnot. Takumi, because I realized before that I was going to have issues with drawing power, I decided to put Takumi in to maximize my Digivolution draw. Didn't really see much use. So again, whenever I splashed into Takumi, it was useless. Then the last card was my go-to Tire Mat. So whenever I went to Omnimon, security attack +1, but also if your opponent has a level 6 or higher, gain 2 memory. This synergized pretty well with Sora and Mimi, because if your opponent, most people want to build like tool boards, so they want a level 6. Oh look, I get 2 memory. If they got a level 5 or 6, I get another 2 memory because of this card's effect. So they kind of synergize pretty well, but because I'm cutting out Omnimon, I don't think these guys are going to be that helpful. But I do plan to put in the Black Dual Tamer, which is dependent on the number of opponents' Digimon, which is effective against Rookie Rush. And excuse me. So yeah, that's the deck. I do have 2 booster packs. Well, technically 1. I already opened my pre-entering pack, so I'm just going to go through this quickly. Blah 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 blah. Nadasu, Huck, and Gabumon. So I think my mom's going to want that one. And then I did buy another booster pack. So another BT6. So who knows? Maybe I'll get my second Gundramon from here. Oh, my second Beelzebub. That'll be nice. But yeah, I think I'll be happy with just a Gundramon. So Sura, Ferris, Parabolic, Reinforcing, Forbidden Trident, 8mon, Ferrismon. Oh, Savior. Eh. Unfortunately not. It's a Majiramon. That's a shame. I wonder what booster packs are in these guys. Oh, no, there isn't. No, it's just the memory boosting code. Well, that's a shame. And it's not even my colour either. It's another card from my mum now. So yeah, that's a deck profile. Definitely will be making changes. I'm still expecting my second booster box to come through. I know I said last time I may have a special guest to open a box with me, but we'll see. I would still love for that to happen, but I may have to do it my own normal way. And I need to get some printer ink as well, so that's another thing. So let's just leave off with these three. It's nice to see the Musketeers together. Sorry, Omni. Sorry, Lilith, but I don't think your services are required. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the videos, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.